Hi there. Welcome to the third episode of Snyder's. It's me, Music Biz News. First up, some of you might remember last year when a totally AI generated song that mimicked Drake and The Weeknd was so popular that it was submitted for a Grammy. And of course, that caused a little bit of confusion and concern because the CEO of the Recording Academy, Harvey Mason Jr., said that it's absolutely eligible because it was written by a human. That caused even more of a stir, that they're going to allow AI generated music to get Grammys. He continued on by saying, we're going to allow AI music and material and compositions and performances to be submitted, but we will not, and he drew the line, we will not be awarding a Grammy to AI. Whew. Okay, so for now, we're going to give the Grammy to the human side of the creativity, emphasis on. So for now, we're going to give the Grammy to the human side of the creativity. If you're trying to submit a song for Grammy recognition, there has to be human involvement in the category that you're submitting in. If I'm an artist and AI wrote the song as songwriter, I would still be eligible for the performance category, but not songwriting. If you wrote the lyrics, but AI sings it, you can win a Grammy for the human portion, which of course is the lyrical content, but not for the performance of AI actually singing your song for you. So as a songwriter, but not as a performer. And he went on to say it has to be meaningful. Meaningful. Don't know if you need to hug beforehand with AI, but meaningful human participation and human contribution for it to be considered for, again, a Grammy. In short, the Grammys want to honor music created with AI elements, but the song must be made by humans as well. We are drawing the line. You can win a Grammy for the human portion. And that almost sounds like robots that are created with human tissue. The human tissue would be considered eligible for a Grammy, whereas the skeleton part would not. I don't know. The final comment about this is when he said, my hope, emphasis again on hope, I hope that we can continue to celebrate human creativity at the highest level before the robot apocalypse happens and they all begin to give each other Grammys. So stay tuned. Second up is a continuation of the AI topic. Here's an ad for an AI songwriting program that you can subscribe to for a lifetime, and it's on sale for $119.97, which if you've ever had to deal with a songwriter like me, then you know that could be a real good deal. I mean, that's almost as cheap as the amount of food you have to buy the songwriter to get him to write you a song. Excuse me, songwriters, I'm just joking. Don't hurt me. But here's an example of how this is actually exploding. Timbaland says he now spends close to 10 hours a day using AI. He has embraced AI music production and even now is in a partnership with a startup company called Suno. And he says this is not something to be afraid of. It is something we need to use. So, meanwhile, the Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, has filed lawsuits alleging copyright infringement taking place on an almost unimaginable scale. They're suing the company that makes the program that Timbaland is endorsing, the AI program. And even the company has admitted its AI music generation was trained on essentially all music files of reasonable quality that are accessible on the open internet. As most of you know, AI creates the material by pulling thousands, if not more, little bits of data and zeros and ones and mashes it all together to create content. Well, and these zeros and ones and all this other data is copyrighted. But, so they're using other people's stuff to pull together and create new stuff. And he goes on to say, I think it's going to be about which prompt you're using. This is the future of the industry. It's not going to be give me the sample. And you know that there's always been this thing about people using other people's samples in their songs and having to pay out for it. Instead of saying, give me the sample, it's going to be give me that prompt. People are going to start selling prompts, and this is telling what AI to do and how to do it. That's the new market, according to him. And he defends it all, and he has a point. And the AI has been dominant, or at least predominant, in our industry for a long time. Auto-tune that fixes voice in real time is artificial intelligence fixing the tonality, the pitch. So it's been around, and he sees it as a tool. He says it's the new age of music creation and producing. Well, at least we know, all of you old rockers out there, you're going to stick to your guns, you're going to be old school, and you're going to just do it the way the Beatles, oh crap. Anyway, I'm curious what you think about it. Feel free to throw some stuff down in the comments if you have an opinion about this at all. Next up, TikTok licensing is trickier than we thought. Bang Energy Drink was sued last year, or in 2022, I think, because it was using copyrighted music in its TikTok ads. And they said they thought that the TikTok licenses gave them permission to use the music in their ads, but a judge says it doesn't matter what you thought. It's illegal. It's copyright infringement. So this year, Chili's stepped into it. Universal Music Group filed a lawsuit claiming Chili's used more than 60 copyrighted songs by Ariana Grande, Bieber, and a bunch of others, and more on social media ads without permission. See, Instagram and TikTok, they provide large libraries that you can use for free on your TikTok and Instagram postings, your reels if you want. But you got to look at the fine print. You can't use it for commercial or promotional uses, especially for large companies like Chili's. That requires what's called a sync license. Sync is short for synchronization. Anytime you sync music up with moving pictures, that is a negotiated license. You have to pay musicians or artists if you want to use their music on your videos. And that's what you typically see, and that's what Chili's has always done for TV commercials. But for some weird reason, they didn't see the connection to social media postings. UMG argued that a sophisticated company would have known it needed sync licenses, and I'm inserting, damn it, to use well-known music in ads, and they add, or at least they should have known. And yeah, what's up with you, Chili's? Come on, you got lawyers? You think? The third article is, will more artists release full songs to social media in 2025? The way it works right now is a major artist and the record labels, when they release a new song, they will put a portion, a teaser of the song on social media like Instagram or TikTok. And the purpose is to try and push the fans and the listeners to one of the streaming platforms like Spotify to listen to the whole song. And it is through Spotify and the streaming platforms that the record labels make their money, and the artists, theoretically. But this is changing, and I think it could be an evolution in how we discover new music. Lamar has decided to release his music full-blown on social media. Instead of it just being a portion, a clip, it is the whole song. So you don't have to jump to Spotify to hear the whole song. So apps like TikTok are now quasi-consumption platforms, trapping music culture within the walls of social media, clogging the funnel that leads users onto streaming media. In other words, users don't have to leave the social media walls to hear the whole song now. Just stay on TikTok and hear the whole song. He released his latest song in full to Instagram Reels, and it had, when I looked at the article, over 3 million likes. Now, let's say that there was 3 million streams if it was on Spotify. How much money would that have generated? Looks like it would have generated about $14,000 in royalties. Yeah, and $14,000 for Lamar, Kendrick, and the record labels, and everybody else who gets a piece of all of that is chump change. He probably carries that around in his front pocket. Drake tried it, but Drake was told by his record label he had to pull his music off. In other words, they would allow him to put like a portion, but you got to go to Spotify to hear all of Drake's new songs. So he sort of got busted for it, but Lamar, being as big as he is able to do what he wants, basically. But why keep it in TikTok and all of that? It's because they're making their money from music merchandise. And so products and things like that, the music attracts people to their pages and they're able to sell more merch. And so people will pay $25 for a t-shirt that costs $3 to make. That's where they're making their money. New artists aren't even trying to go to Spotify. They're putting it all up within the walls of social media because that's where everybody is and they can do it and it doesn't cost them anything for distribution and all of that. Are we on the verge of a major shift in distribution and discovering new music? I think we are. It's weird to say that it's possible that streaming platforms, streaming the way we have known it, is becoming less and less as we go on in time and might go the way of terrestrial radio. Who knows? And my fifth article is real quick. There is a new music domain. By that I mean a suffix. So if you wanted to have your own song or your own band, .music instead of .com or .net or whatever. Now this is available to you to be able to go purchase it. And It seems to be pretty pricey. You can see how much money I would have to pay to get dot music for something I might want to buy. So I will pass, but feel free to snatch up Snyder's Tunes dot music if you want to. It's quite a bit more than you would get off of GoDaddy and some of the other domain services. But if you have a band or if you have a record label, it's pretty new, so you can get a jump on making sure you get the domain name that you want with the suffix of .music. And finally, we get to Jonesy's cat shit crazy pick. Jonesy's an effing cool cat. He's just major cool. But what would make him even cooler is this Halloween outfit that you can buy at Walmart. And not only that, see how he's bending the string and the guitar in this picture? It's like you could be a cool jazz cat. So, you see even the vernacular fits the whole image. Obviously, like I said, he's already cool. And, well, it's Jonesy. So happy Halloween. And thank you for watching this episode. And be sure and like and subscribe and do all of those fancy things. And I'll see you again next Wednesday. Thanks. Bye.